I do know that Hulu did some trickery, and it really upset me. Really upset me. I ain't gonna lie about that. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Hove Views, and today we're gonna be talking about Demon Slayer episode 3 of the Entertainment District arc. So if you haven't subscribed so far, please consider subscribing. Help us to get to 1,000 subscriptions. Didn't think that we would ever utter those words, but we're so close. We just crossed 700. Help us to keep everything going. Help us to keep growing. And let's go ahead and talk about Demon Slayer. Now, with me being a big fan of the series and being a big fan of pretty much everything they put out, I really feel like the animated movie that they released in theaters earlier this year was probably one of the best movies of the year. Like, it would probably make my top 5 of the year. This episode is probably the most uneventful episode of Demon Slayer that I've watched. Now, I'm saying that without really reviewing season 1, because I know in season 1 there were some real story episodes like this one seems to be. We got a lot of backstory about the main demon that is in the Entertainment District. She's the one who's like in the upper ranks. She's real high up there. I think it said upper 6. And she seems like she's going to be a favorite of Muzan Kibutsuji. He showed himself to her even dressed in the Michael Jackson looking form of himself. We've seen him in different forms this season. It's cool to see, but it was also nice to know that he came back in what appears to be one of his truest forms and spoke very highly of her. Not something that he did for a lot of the other demons that we've seen that gave the team some trouble in the past. So him speaking highly of her indicates that she's going to be a handful to deal with. If you stay through the entire episode and through the credits, you will see that Zenitsu did get snatched up at the end, or it appears like he got snatched up at the end, which means this, at least the first part of this Entertainment District arc is gonna like deal with rescuing the wives as well as Zenitsu, unless he finds some way out of it. Looking forward to seeing how that whole thing unravels. Overall though, while I feel like they did slowly move the story forward, and while me being a fan, I did enjoy it. If there's other people who not really familiar with the series and you're kind of jumping in at the Entertainment District arc, you're jumping in at a bad time, because they're going to be giving a lot of story and a lot of background stuff here, and it doesn't feel like things are going to move forward for a little while. I do like the setup as well, like the way the story is being told. We've seen this done in different properties before, where they'll do something like have one person have their part of the story here, another person have their part of the story there, and then another person have a part of the story there, and then eventually you get all these threads converging at one single point. And that would be cool to see the show unravel in that way. We see that Inosuke is kind of sneaking and snooping around his building. We see that Tanjiro is just, being a hard little good guy, hard worker for the household. And you have Zenitsu, who kind of like heard the cries of a child and rescued him. And eventually, again, we'll see all those threads kind of get wrapped up. I would like to see more backstory on the Hashira, the main Hashira that we're following this here season though. If we get more backstory episodes, that's when I would like to see, as well as seeing kind of what happens to each of the wives. We don't know exactly what happened to the one that we caught up with this episode. And it would be nice to see like their training and where they went and how things unfolded to where they all got caught up. But that line of thinking kind of plays into the idea that we'll be getting a bunch of episodes. I remember looking at the numbers for season 1. I think it was a 26 total. And if we get 26 episodes, there's more than enough space to get a lot of backstory for each one of the characters. I do know that Hulu did some trickery, and it really upset me. Really upset me. I ain't gonna lie about that. But the trickery with Hulu is that they separated the Demon Slayer series or the story arcs into different series. So you have season 1, which is its own thing, and then you had season 2, which started off with the Mugen Train, and then we have season 2, the Entertainment District arc. Well, now if you go to Hulu, that is broken up into 3 different sections. So you have season 1, then you have the Mugen Train arc, which is a 7-episode thing, and then you have this new Entertainment District arc. So the numbers are all over the place. I was calling this episode 10 in my mind, but in truth it's actually episode 3. of the Entertainment District arc. They're not counting the first 7. That was the Mugen Train story catch up for the people who didn't see the movie. So it's a lot. I had to go through a lot of stuff searching to find the actual episode. So depending on how they number these episodes, it'll impact on what I want to see. If we are getting 24 to 26 episodes, starting, this being number 3 of the Entertainment District arc, that would be cool still to get all that backstory, because there's going to be some action along the way, and getting some backstory on these characters and finding meaning in all these characters, that would be dope. But if they're not following those numbers and they are mixing the Mugen Train 7 with these 3 and we really on 10, which means like we're more or close to being halfway through with the seasons. Like I hope that's not the case, because then I don't want to see all that backstory. Let's get to some fighting, and let's get to really progressing the story. Knowing all that back compatible stuff is like, it's not the biggest deal, but learning what we're going to learn and see the story unfold moving forward, that would be more interesting if we got a limited amount of episodes. So I hope that you could follow everything that I was saying. I kind of was all over the place, I feel like, but those are my thoughts on the episode. Not the best episode, but good if you're a big fan of the series. Maybe not for the new folks that's just joining in with Demon Slayer. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with that? Did you feel like this episode was sufficient? I feel like, again, overall it was, yes, but for the new folks, you may be turned off to the ways of anime and like that deliberate storytelling and kind of dragging things out, and I can see how some could be upset by this one. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, subscribe, come back and check out more videos.